First of all, obviously you've been picked for the Motocross of Nations. How has that compromised your prep for this? Because whilst I imagine a lot of guys were doing full Supercross, you were maybe a little skeptical to go entirely in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing once a week on outdoors, and you know, it really hasn't compromised it too much, because last week I was on full outdoor setting, and it worked pretty good. So this week, you know, going back and forth from soft to stiff, it is a little bit of a change, but you just gotta kind of, you know, do a few laps, and then you're kind of used to it. And I mean, it doesn't really feel that similar, but the balance is there, and it hasn't really been too much of a struggle for me.
I guess you have to stay focused on this as well, because there is a scenario where you can win this thing. I don't know what it is exactly, because there's a lot of points moving around, but you are in with a shot at winning this whole thing. Yeah,
I just gotta focus on winning, and Chase has to get fourth, and if everybody, you know, if Chase, Jet, and Kenny finish, you know, Kenny finishes second, Jet finishes third, and Chase finishes fourth, I'm a millionaire if I win it. So
the easier route would just be a first-turn pileup.
Yeah. I'm thinking strategy-wise. You know, I'm not really good at taking people out, but I always feel bad after I do. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, some carnage happens, and I'm not in it.
Maybe this is insane to say, but is it possible that Chicago was actually your best ride of the entire year? Purely looking at the riding. Obviously, the result could have been better, but the riding alone, I felt like, was far above some of what you've done elsewhere this year.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely the best I've ridden, you know, full moto-wise. I was extremely mad when I came off the track, and everybody was like, "Yeah, dude, that's such a good ride, this and that." And I was like, "Yeah, but dude, the first time, like, not really the first time, but one of the few times that I've had the speed to beat all these guys, you know, in freaking 15th place, and having to come back." But you know, it was a kind of a refresher, because I could keep an eye on everybody, see that I was catching them, and I really wanted to catch Chase that last lap, like, even though it didn't really matter where, like, for the overall, but you know, that would have been a nice little, like, cap off of the night. But you know, we got this one, and I'm feeling good on stiff Supercross setting. So yeah, we'll see what we can do here.
I guess it's hard to, like, manage your emotions like that, because you come in and everyone tells you you were amazing, but then in that first 30 minutes you want to punch a wall because you know you could have won maybe. And then everyone's like, "Well, why are you being so miserable?" But it's like a balance of, not everyone understands unless they've got a helmet on. Yeah,
for sure. And I know, like, everybody under here was pumped, because, you know, that's the best they've seen me ride pretty much ever.
That's why they signed you.
Yeah, and that's really why, you know, I'm here. So they were pumped. They thought, you know, I made us look really good. But to me, you know, I really wanted to get up on the podium and just have that, you know, those few little extra points, because, you know, if I could have got third, you know, I'd probably be ahead of Kenny still in the points. And then I mean, there's just a lot of scenarios that were running through my head, and with as good as I was riding, you know, I definitely could have won that night. So that was my thinking. I could have definitely won, but I ended up getting fourth. So I definitely took some positives away from it, and I had a really good week this week. And yeah, with a better start, who knows what could happen here.
Last thing, and be completely honest with yourself here. This isn't on camera. Give yourself a grade for your entire year, your entire Super Motocross year. As honest as you can be. You've got to look yourself in the mirror after this.
No, yeah. I would say, you know, about a 6 out of 10. I left a lot on the table, especially in the beginning of outdoors with all the crashes that I had. I mean, I crashed like 6 times in the first like 5 rounds. So I think I left a lot on the table there. And then in Supercross, I feel like, you know, with with better starts and less mistakes, I could have, you know, finished higher up in the point standings, and you know, I could have won a race, but you know, mistakes get in the way. But yeah, I would say a 6 out of 10. It's not, you know, it's not 50-50. I definitely think this season has been my best so far. But as far as, you know, kind of floundering around on the ground, soil samples, and just different mistakes that I've made, yeah, I would say 6 out of 10 is pretty good. Pretty good.
I think you're coming into this 5th in points, so a little ways out of the top 3, but then we've got triple points, which I guess means anything is possible. So do you come in here with an open mind and just be like, I'll shoot for gold and see what happens?
Yeah, I mean, a win's a win. If I can get out here with a win, man, I'd be so stoked. I feel like my health's a bit better now than what it was last weekend, and way better than what it was in Charlotte, because Charlotte was a disaster. Last weekend was much better. So yeah, I mean, I'm here to try to win. I mean, I want to win bad, and end the season on a high note and get some momentum going into Nations.
It must be nice to get back to like an equilibrium, I can't even say that word. Nice to get back to like an even setting, because this is more Supercross, so there's less guesswork, I guess, and you can come in here knowing that what you've got works.
Yeah. I mean, so there was no guessing last weekend on my suspension, because I just stuck with Supercross and just ran it. Like, dude, it was sketchy, but at least I knew what it was going to do. It was good in some areas, and then the other areas, it was just like I was holding on. But this one, yeah, a lot more Supercrossy. I'm not too worried about my setup. Just kind of run what I brought. And yeah, I mean, it'll be much better here this weekend than what it has been the last 2.
Did you just ride Supercross this week, or did you keep doing outdoors with an eye on Nations?
No, yeah, I rode outdoors Tuesday. Got some 48s on my bike for Nations, so I was stoked on that. It's the first time I got to ride with those.
Game changer?
Yeah, I mean, dude, it makes quite a bit of difference. It didn't mess it up, it just softens everything up quite a bit. So yeah, I did that full day Tuesday, and then we rode our hybrid track Wednesday. Yeah, pretty much the same kind of what we've been doing.
Does this feel like a slog being here? Like, looking at the calendar and seeing it's September, do you feel like you shouldn't be at a race? Or does it feel like just another outdoor or another Supercross? I
mean, dude, we are late in the season, but I mean, we are racing Nations, and that's kind of what, I mean, AP and I both would say, like, dude, we've been so stoked on that. It's kind of hard to, like, focus just on the weekends. Yeah. Like, especially, I mean, we had 3 races that, you know, are worth a lot, but it's like, man, you're trying to focus more on, you know, being present right now than looking ahead. I mean, yeah, I'm excited to go racing anytime I can. Yeah, I could have used the time to, you know, get a little bit more healthier, but also there's a lot on the line for these races. So, I mean, you got to be excited and be in it.
Looking at your SuperMotocross season as a whole, dating back to January, give yourself an honest grade for what you've done, like based on your own expectations, of course.
I mean, up to, I'd say probably Unadilla. I mean, I was still even in a championship fight, and my outdoor season was not great. I mean, dude, I had some pretty gnarly things going on, you know, in my stomach and my health. Like, I had an autoimmune disease that was pretty gnarly, and I'm still dealing with it right now. And just kind of to still be in it, you know, I was stoked on that. Yeah, my weekends definitely could have been better in outdoors. Supercross on a whole, I mean, was solid. Outdoors was decent. I mean, I'd still say I could have been a lot better. I'd say I'd give me like a B plus maybe.
Solid.
I mean, if I go out and win this weekend, then it's a B plus, almost an A. But overall, I mean, can't be too bummed on the kind of whole year.
And last thing, do you have any idea what to expect at Ernée? Or is your only expectation to have your mind blown?
I mean, dude, I'm more stoked for the atmosphere and the fans and the hillside and just the party that's going to be out there. More than anything, like, dude, I cannot wait. I mean, yeah, I've watched, you know, some videos and races of the track, and I mean, yeah, it's hard pack, ruddy. But man, just more the atmosphere is what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, that'll be the first thing we talk about after the race, is like your thoughts on the crowd and the atmosphere, because I don't think there's a track in the world that can have an atmosphere like that.
Yeah, I mean, even like the Redbud, you know, nations, like you see that, and then you see the Europe nations and like their side of it, and I don't think it compares. I mean, dude, those guys they love this sport. They love nations. Clearly you can tell. And you got 3 guys that are going over there that, you know, represent our country well, and we'll give it, you know, all we got you know, wherever we're at, you know, like it's going to be our best effort, and you know, hopefully they can appreciate that.
First off, just give us your thoughts on your SuperMotocross season as a whole. How the different weeks and the unique tracks have affected you, positives, negatives?
Yeah, it was. It's been, the last couple of races have been a bit difficult for me, especially the last two tracks, Charlotte and Chicago. Both are kind of my style, faster, and naturally, I think, kind of with my hand situation improving through outdoors, I came in with a lot of high expectations for myself. It's the first time I kind of have put that pressure on myself this year, and it just hasn't really materialized for me. The tracks have been, it's been difficult for me to do my best and have that pace, so it's been frustrating, but just doing everything I can to remain in the moment and do what I can.
I feel like you can enter this race with high expectations, or maybe you don't want to do that anymore, but again, looking at this, it feels like something that would work for you.
Yeah, well, that's what's gotten me in trouble, I think, the last couple of weeks, like just from a mental standpoint is, you know, I know that I'm capable of a lot more than what I've done in these two races so far, and just how choppy they've been and fast, I think that's not really working for me right now, but this one being a little bit more Supercross style, probably some less braking bumps and a little bit slower. I'm hoping for the best. For me, it's all about not getting in my own way and just getting what I can get out of it and not getting too down, because yeah, after those last couple of weekends, man, I was really pissed off, so I kind of had to refocus, and we're in a good place now.
I know, like in Supercross, you figured out a way to set your bike up that best works with your situation. Obviously, we've come to these races and bike setup is out the window. So has that been a struggle? Because not only are you trying to set the bike up, you're trying to set the bike up in a way that works for you.
Yeah, it's been hard. I mean, I think it's been difficult for everybody to get a good setting on these style of tracks. For me, it's like I need to run the bike a bit softer so I can have some more feel. But with how fast the tracks have been, you don't want to go too soft. That's when things start to get a little bit dangerous, you know. So it's been kind of a constant back and forth of too soft, too stiff, trying to find you know, just trying to find the right setting. But my crew chief, Oscar, Justin, everybody's been doing really well with it, and it's been me, not the bike, these first two.
Maybe this is a dangerous question, but obviously a lot is made about the money in this series. I think you're 10th in the points at the moment. Say you get to 7th. That money isn't life-changing for a guy like you, so you're not motivated by that, right?
I mean, I think a lot of us are, for motorsports for some reason, I think we're all pretty cheap. You know, I'm renovating. I just bought a house in the beginning of summer, and I'm renovating the house, so I just got the drawings back for the kitchen from the interior designer, and woo, that is a big number, my friend. So I'm definitely motivated to do my best. I think the money's always nice, but of course, yeah, it's not everything, and I don't think any of us are looking at it that way, but that's not to say it's not exciting, and you know, it crosses your mind here and there.
Last thing, random one. I feel like you as a person would really embrace the nations, and I really want you to experience it at least once, because I feel like that is made for you. Obviously there are things going on around you that you can't control, which kind of make it more difficult, but am I right in thinking that you as a rider and you as a person, like, you want to at least experience that once? Absolutely.
I mean, I'm a motocross purist. You know, I think that the race means so much. Growing up, it was such a big deal, and it's kind of, to me, it's a lot like the kind of Olympics have been, the last couple Olympics. Like, for some reason, it doesn't seem as important as it used to around like Beijing, London. And I think that's kind of the same way our industry on the America side is starting to look at nations. Like, it's starting to get less important. For me, of course, I would love to experience it. They had talked to me in the beginning of summer. They asked me if, you know, I think it was around after High Point where I got that podium, if I'd be interested. And I'm like, yeah, I'm here. Let me know. And I hadn't heard anything from them. Obviously, I wasn't crushing it, podiuming, winning, and so I just need to, going forward, I think I need to be faster and have better results, and hopefully I can get that chance, because it would be it'd be an honor. No doubt the European fans would go crazy for you as well. Yeah, I would. You know, I haven't been over there since, man, it's been like 10 years since I've raced over there. Last time? Yeah, it was Geneva, and then I mean, even on a 50, I went over there and raced a World Mini Trophy in Belgium, and I remember fans on the track, like. it was super cool, and I've had a lot of great support from over there, so I'd love to go do something over there eventually.